What's up guys, this is First G here, and for today, we're actually going to talk about two LMGs I actually have for you today, and of course that would be the Pumpkin Chainsaw and also the Pumpkin Prybar. And just to get things straight, if you really want to use this loadout I'm using right now, you can go ahead, but I'll probably say it's not going to be optimal because there's always those cases that you wish you actually have the other weapon, but you can't because you're actually using this loadout. And if you want to challenge yourself, you can go ahead and try it for yourself, but otherwise I wouldn't recommend it and go for a different build. The skills I'm actually rocking out in this build is going to be Blitzkrieg, and for those of you who doesn't know what that skill is, the longer you hold the trigger button or the left mouse button, you actually will get some buffs that actually will benefit you on your gunfight in terms of 1v1 or in a group fight in general. And the second skill I'm actually using is Provoke, and if you're actually being fired at by someone, you actually will get additional damage increase on your tank, and your weapons will receive a 25% damage buff, and the actual duration itself will actually refresh itself, so do take advantage over that. And this video is actually going to primarily focus on Prybar because some of you actually might be curious if that weapon itself is actually worth picking up over some other meta weapons that tank has, such as the chainsaw that most people use, and also the Hornet, which is probably my favorite anti-sniper loadouts, and both flight machine guns actually do a good job in terms of the rolls. But what about the Prybar? Where it's going to be standing right now in terms of where it's at right now, and this would actually be worth picking up. And if you guys want the straightforward answer, that's going to be yes and no, and I have very good reasons why I actually respond in that fashion. The reason why I say yes, because it actually does well in long range engagements, that it doesn't suffer the damage fall off that the chainsaw has, and it's probably the most stable weapon out there in terms of aiming down the sights and trying to land all your shots in. And that's probably all I have to say about the benefits of the weapon. And for the other side of things, the reason why not to use this weapon is actually because some people might be complaining the fact that damage isn't there. It's because it's only doing 39 damage, and that's kind of comparable to the Marksman Hunter assault rifle, and that has better rate of fire than the Prybar itself. And at the same time, this weapon doesn't actually do well in close range due to the low fire rate over the damage it actually has. And this weapon is actually the more situational type of weapon that you actually use over the other LMGs, and it did took a while to find a way to make it some use of it and try to find some situations where the Prybar actually shines compared to the chainsaw versus the Hornet. The actual goal of this video is giving you some decision factor whenever you want to take this weapon for a ride and try to understand on how to use the Prybar to its utmost potential. And personally, by using so much, I kind of say it might need a little bit of buff, but we don't want to make it too much that it actually be overpowered than the two meta weapons right now, which is going to be the chainsaw and Hornet. And we don't want the Prybar to stand too much in front of the crowd in terms of its buffs, but at the same time we like to give it some oomph to it in order to make it more viable, so you actually have more options out there just in case you don't want to use those two meta like machine guns. If you want to find a way on how to use the Prybar, it's actually going to dictate in terms of where you're positioning your tank at, and hopefully that place you've chosen is the place that people can't actually find you, or they can't really fire very well, and at the same time you have to try to keep it consistent damage to them so that you can actually land a score on them when you get the kill. I would actually go for places that actually have tight spaces, and if you actually go for the open areas, you actually be more prone to be shut down by any Wraith or Marksman or Berserker with their shotguns. And you actually have to take into account that you actually have to distance yourself from the person you're targeting at versus where you're at, just to make use of the more range it has as compared to the chainsaw that most people use. And that chainsaw literally suffers from low range, and most of the time you want to get some damage in from a long distance, you actually have to use burst fire, which is a concept of instead of holding down your left mouse button, you actually do in consecutive bursts. So if you hold down for a couple seconds and do it again, that particular first three bolts will actually always shoot the center before it actually deviates out towards outside of the center. You will actually see me do that technique with the chainsaw in certain particular gameplays in this video in specific time frame, but I wouldn't know where it is because I'm actually recording all my voiceovers instead of doing my voiceovers live in game. And if you guys actually do find that technique somewhere in this video, just comment down below, put a timestamp on it just to let me know that you actually found it. And if you do, congratulations. But otherwise, just keep watching and see how I actually make use of the two LMGs that I actually have in this game. And yeah, that's basically my sole suggestions in terms of of using the Prybar is actually all about positioning, and your goal is to keep damaging them, but at the same time try to minimize yourself by doing a lot of covers or hiding in places there where people can't shoot you at. And yeah, that's all I actually have to say regarding a Prybar. And if you guys want to use it, go ahead, give it a try, give me your experiences by the comment down below and on how it works for you. And for those of you who are actually in the video, a huge shout out for you guys for being part of the video. Congratulations, you're guys official in the video now. You can brag about amongst your friends, your peers, your family, or whatever you feel like on bragging about this too. So at the moment, I'm actually considering to make a tank guide for those of you who actually wants to either dip into the waters of learning how to play tank, or for those of you who actually are playing tank and you want them to get better in terms of how you make use of him to his fullest. I actually am making a video of that, but however, I'm actually might push that towards to 2019 because due to time scheduling and some stuff's been busy around my end. However, if you guys really do want to see that video out before that particular timeline before I leave for vacation, you can also comment down below, you guys, like saying, hey, I want to take my tank to a whole new level, or you want to make a mess with either by plowing through a bunch of enemies with Blitzkrieg and LMGs, or you want to go out there with Raging Bull and a sledgehammer and just basically smash everything that you see in front of your screen. So if you guys really want that video, just comment down below. And yeah, that's going to be all for me today, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the rest of the gameplay video. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a nice day today, and hopefully you enjoyed this gameplay with those two LMGs of the pumpkin skin, and I'm also docking the pumpkin head, just in case for those who you actually playing the opposite side. Good luck if you actually shot my head and explodes. And yeah, I'll be signing out for now.
Yes, we got it! We have